A pig-headed man? A man with a pig's head? Come with me, let's find out more. Welcome to the channel, the pig-headed man of Cannock Chase. Let's dive into it. Now there is a limerick that locals to Cannock Chase use, which goes like this. When night falls, enter the woods at your peril, for inside something lurks worse than the devil. Avoid at all costs the gathering place where the pigman roams on Cannock Chase. Now there are loads of paranormal reportings on Cannock Chase, from sightings of the Dogman of Cannock Chase, you've got the Bigfoot of Cannock Chase, numerous UFO reports, cat-like creatures, all kinds of stuff. I have done videos on all this stuff and I'll put links in the description. Now there's an Iron Age hill fort on Cannock Chase called Castle Ring, and in October 1993 a couple were walking around Castle Ring when they heard some noises in some trees. Now they thought maybe it was a couple having some kind of romantic interlude, so they began to walk in the opposite direction. They walked back to the car park, and as they were headed there, the man heard a noise from behind and turned round and saw a really strange creature. He described it as being the strangest creature that he's ever seen. This creature was around 7 foot tall, and its head was like really huge, a lot bigger than a human's head would be, and it was elongated and snout-like, and it was wearing clothes. They were both terrified about this and headed back to their car, and as they did that they heard a really loud squealing noise similar to that of a pig. Over the years, many people, whilst camping out during the night on Cannock Chase, have reported loud squealing noises, and they've even seen pig-like silhouettes roaming around in the trees. It's thought that the origins of the pigman may go back to the Second World War and sinister experiments that were done on people during that time. Although there were operations going on to do with the war and military camps on Cannock Chase, some people think maybe a better explanation would be that military commanders put out stories of pigmen on Cannock Chase to keep the locals away. In the summer of 2017, a couple were walking their dogs very near to the trees at Pye Green Tower, which is also on Cannock Chase. The time was about 8 PM in the evening, and the couple were starting to get a bit tired, so they turned around with their 2 dogs. And at this point, the dogs started to act a little bit weird. The dogs started to behave in a timid way, which was out of character because they were usually boisterous and playful. All of a sudden, the couple began to hear the noise of a pig grunting. So they decided to go towards this grunting noise. They then saw a figure in the trees which looked like a man wearing a pig mask. This creature then began to walk towards them, and as it got closer, it looked really angry, and their dogs started going crazy. They all turned in the direction of the car and started running, and they heard this monster running behind them. The pigman then gave up the chase, much to the relief of the couple and the dogs. They carried on towards the car, and then all of a sudden, this pigman monster jumped out in front of them from behind a tree, and one of the dogs was pulling that hard on its lead that it snapped and ran towards this creature. It jumped up at the creature and just passed straight through it, as though it was just an apparition and it wasn't solid at all. The pigman then let out a grunt and walked off into the trees. In the spring of 2005, a female cyclist had just completed a 5-mile ride of Cannock Chase. When she stopped for a breather, she heard some rustling noise in some trees to her left. When she turned to look what was going on, she saw this pigman kneeling down in the dirt and described this pigman as the most monstrous, loathsome thing that she'd ever seen. You know. So that's got to be pretty bad, hasn't it? It's also rumoured by some locals that if you're in the woodland and a small rhyme is recited, then the pigman may show itself. And the rhyme goes like this. Pigman, you've got no family, you're all alone, that I can see. Pigman, such a tragedy, won't you come and play with me? It's also believed by some locals that the pigman was born to the Devil's Bride and just left to forage in the woodlands several centuries ago. Then you might think a pigman, you know, this bloke with a pig's head. Now, come on, this is basically too far-fetched. But you know, a lot of people are reporting having seen this thing, so you never know, do you? All I can say is that if you're ever in Cannock Chase and you do hear squealing noises, then either get the hell out of there, or if you're really brave, try and catch a photograph. And if you do that, please get in touch with me and we'll get you on the channel. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe and ring the little bell to be notified when I next upload. And also hit the share button too, that'd be great. And I will see you next time. Bye.